This video has been produced in the framework of the European-funded project Poeticon++, which explores the use of language as a prior knowledge system for action planning and generalization in human-robot interaction and visual scene understanding. The video presents a dialogue between an automatically developed, embodied semantic network, the Praxicon and its reasoning tools on the one hand, and visual object segmentation, recognition and tracking tools, and visual action parsing on the other. Both technologies follow the specifications of the first ever visuomotor grammar of action. The language tools are being developed by the Cognitive Systems Research Institute, the Embodied Language Processing Lab headed by Dr. Katerina Pastra, and the visual tools are being developed by the University of Maryland, Computer Vision Lab, headed by Professor Yannis Alimanos. A robot with active vision, semantic memory and reasoning abilities is watching a human performing an everyday task, and in particular, a manipulation task, over a table. In the upper left part of the screen, you will watch the results of the object and hand segmentation, recognition and tracking modules of the robot. A number of objects are placed on the table, such as a hammer, a plank, a ruler and a nail. The objects have been segmented and recognized as such. The hands of the human are also recognized in the scene and tracked. In the upper right part of the screen, you will watch the results of the visual action recognition tool. Using a depth camera to track human movements in 3D space, the module tracks the movement of the hands at any time, its contact or no contact to other objects in the scene, and decides on the manipulation action that is being carried out. Currently, both hands are in resting position. As the scene starts to evolve dynamically, the visual tools recognize that the human is performing a gripping action with his left hand. He is gripping the plank. This verbal information is analyzed by the language tools as a single movement concept, which comprises inherently a specific tool, a specific affected object and a certain goal. According to the minimalist grammar of action and based on findings from the neuroscience of action, these three are inherent constituents of actions. In other words, substituting any of them leads to a different action. This information is correlated to prior knowledge in the semantic memory. What appears faded on the language half of the screen is some information from the semantic memory regarding the affordances of a plank. A plank is used as a tool for boarding up something. Through this prior knowledge, the reasoner of the robot predicts that the human might have gripped the plank for boarding up something. This is a predicted final goal that the human might have, given what he has done up to this point. The predicted goal is highlighted in red. Actually, the reasoner will keep making new predictions as new information comes in from the visual modules, verifying or changing the previous guesses. As the scene continues evolving, the visual tools recognize that the human grasps with his right hand a nail. This is also analyzed by the language tools and correlated to prior knowledge in the semantic memory. Searching through known affordances of nails, the robot is now making new predictions to explain why the human may want to get hold of a nail. It may be the case that he will fasten something with the nail, or clinch with something the nail. Next, the visual tools see the human reaching the plank with the nail. This information is also analyzed, and now the previous predictions are narrowed down to two: the human will either fasten the plank with the nail, or stick the nail on the plank. Given the information up to now, the action sequence parser and the reasoner can jointly reconstruct the action sequence dependency tree, following the rules of the minimalist grammar of action. Subsequent in-time actions that share a tool or affected object form part of the same sequence. In this case, grasping the nail and then reaching with nail the plank, are two actions in which the affected object of the former is the tool of the latter, so one enables the other and form part of the same action sequence. The fact that the reaching action involves the plank as affected object, allows the parser to conclude that the grasping of the plank, that was the first action to be executed in time, is also part of the same action sequence, whose final goal is not known yet. However, it is being predicted as being a fastened goal. The scene continues evolving. The human is now pushing the nail on the plank with his right hand. The dialogue between the visual tools and language continues. The information is analyzed by the language tools and correlated with information in the semantic memory. The action sequence tree is updated with the new information. As the human is grasping the hammer with his right hand and reaching the nail, the robot reasons that it is probably a beating action that will take place. Indeed, this is what happens next. Now the action sequence tree has been updated with all new developments. The robot realizes that the final goal of the sequence is indeed to fasten the plank with the nail. The human places the hammer down and retracts his right hand in resting position. At this point, the scene finishes. The robot has now developed a complete tree out of the whole sequence. All single actions observed were related to one final goal, which the robot using its language and vision abilities has concluded to be the fastening of the plank. It was a prediction that was in its mind long time before the whole scene finishes. The exact same language-vision interaction could be used to assist action recognition and object recognition, by using language-based predictions to constrain the search space for the visual tools. The work presented in this demo is being carried out by Katerina Pastra, Irini Balta, Panayiotis Themiatrikis, Themiatris Mavrotis, Yanis Aliminos, Cornelia Vermuller, Yezu Yang, Qinglik Teo, Alex Essens, Austin Myers. For more demonstrations and related publications, please stay tuned at www.poeticon.eu.